Good evening. How are you doing tonight? Alrighty. Let's look for us over on the other device so I can hopefully see comments. That would be lovely to be able to do that. When you get here, please say that you're here so that I know who's on with me. Alrighty. Okay, Mary Lynn's here. Okie dokie. Tonight's card had lots of pieces. And if you think this card has lots of pieces, wait till you see one of our cards in February. There's a ton on that one too. But this one is so easy, even though there's so many parts. It really is. It's going to be awesome. It is going to be an awesome card. Okay, I cannot lie. I'm praying for another snow day or a cold day or whatever kind of day you want to do it for tomorrow. I don't care. Hey, Valerie. I am ready to sit and do my own crafting because I was busy all weekend getting stuff ready for classes. Patty's here. So we have Patty and Mary Lynn and Valerie are here. Okay, awesome, ladies. We're going to get started. So this will be our last sympathy card for the month. And it'll be the last time I'm using Peaceful Gardens. And because I'm switching gears for February. February, I will be using a paper pack that came out last year. I believe it's called Marble something or other. It's already retired, so can't get it. But there is a new Valentine paper pack that is out right now that if you are interested, you can pick that one up. And you have until January 31st to place an order for $50 or more, and then you're going to get a $5 coupon to use in February. And don't forget, there are new products in the online exclusive category, and there's a whole new catalog right now. Plus, you have the bonus, the bonus days we already talked about, and the product of the month. So there is quite a bit going on. Oh, Lori and Jeannie are also here. This is great, ladies. I love it. Okay, so I believe we took care of all the business. Now let's jump into this amazing card. It really is. So let's move the date out. I have the Hinge is somewhere within this pile. My embellishments for tonight, I will be using that same sprig and then a dove. So I'm just going to set those up there. You needed a shape of some sort, whatever type of shape you wanted. And then you needed some pattern papers and cardstocks and things that kind of coordinated with each other. So the first piece is going to be a 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Then you needed a piece of cardstock that was 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And I kind of have these in order of how they need to go. Then you're going to have another pattern paper, 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Here's that hinge piece. That hinged piece is 1 by 5 and it will be scored at 2 inches. We are going to need a piece of white that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and then a little pattern paper that is 3/4 by 4 1/2. Set that there. And then we needed a large pattern paper, 4 1/4 or 4 by 5 1/4, and then a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to set this one aside. This is going into that pile, and that's going into that pile. Everything else is this pile, and then we have this hinged piece. So we're going to start with our hinge, and we're going to start with the cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, because that is going to act as our base. So let's get that rolling. All right. I am going to start with the hinge. I am going to use my tear and tape here because this is that mechanism that's going to be going back and forth, and it's going to get a lot of movement. So I'm going to start with this piece. This is your 1 by 5. So 1 inch by 5 inches. And this is that scored line at 2 inch. This is that piece that is going to lay here. Okay, so I'm going to take, I took the brace off for right now, but it's throbbing. So I probably should put it back on, but I cannot craft with it on. Okay, so that I use the tear and tape because it's going to give me a better coverage, so to speak. All right, let's get me on a line and a line here. There we go. All right, so I am going to place the 2 inch part right at this edge, the left edge, and I'm going to go up till it's like kind of centered. So I'm just eyeballing this, and it looks to be right about there. This piece we're going to leave alone for a second, and we're going to use our pattern that was 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to put that piece next. And I'm not going to use this dove side because we are putting white paper over it, so you won't really see that. But this will cover that little mechanism. Okay. Now, I'm not going to do the white part yet because I want to build the flap that's going to go off of this hinge. So what we need to do is this piece of blue. Let me scooch those out of my way for a second. So I'm going to fold this, and this piece is going to lay on top of that. So this flap is right where I want to put my adhesive again. Like I said, I'm using that tear and tape because I know it's a bit stronger, so it will stand up within the wear and the tear of the card being open and closed and open and closed, open and closed. Let's see, Dearborn Public Schools will be closed. Snow day for tomorrow. Whoop, whoop. That is like fantastic. Poor road conditions. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm real good with that. Sorry, we had to see what that message said. All right, so now we're going to lay our 3.5 by 4 3/4 piece is going to lay right on top of this. So I'm just going to use my finger to kind of hold that down, and I'm going to put it so that the edge of the blue is laying at the edge of that pattern paper. And I need to wiggle this piece just a bit. There we go. All right, so we're going to lay this, and I'm just centering it within. Just centering that within, just like so. Okay, so now, yeah, yippee! Woohoo! I'm going to take this piece, my 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and this is the one with the doves. So I'm going to put this now centered here, just with my regular adhesive. So it's another day to sleep in. I love it. Okay, So now we're gonna open this up. Now we need to hide this. So that's where we're gonna take our other piece of pattern that was 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and we're going to place that inside. Now you could do a different pattern. You could do the same pattern. It's completely up to you. I'm gonna go with this different pattern just so that I have a little bit of variance and difference. Okay, so let's center this, and it's going to hide that hinge for us, just like so. Now we can bring in our white piece, and that is going to lay here, but we also want to be very mindful of where our hinges, because we kind of don't want to see that. So I'm going to get my adhesive on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it here. So it's being laid on that opposite side. And the easiest way to do this now would be to flip my right over and then press. Now I'll know for sure I don't have it showing through, right? Then that's what we would want. Okay, now we're going to take this beautiful dark piece and we're going to allow it to be our pretty edge, so to speak. Okay. And then I don't go to school Tuesday because I have a doctor's appointment in Novi. Such a rough week it's going to be. I'll go to school Wednesday. Thursday we have training, so I won't have school. The kids will. I won't. And then I'll go to work on Friday. So I really will only be seeing kids Wednesday and Friday of this week. And that's good. I'm good with that. All right, let's see. What do we want? That's all. Well, that would fit. Heartfelt prayers, because I don't think it's going to fit on this unless we went this way. Well, deepest sympathy will fit here, and that's right where I wanted that. So I think we're going to go with heartfelt prayers on our inside. Oop, block's a little small. Alrighty, let's see. Let's go with, I think I'm going to go with Secret Sea, because that's what this piece is, and that's that deeper blue. I ordered more of these little stamping spots that are untinted, or they're called uninked. And then I ordered some re-inkers. And because the little ones are just, they're nice, because then I can really see if I truly like that color. And then I also thought they're convenient when you leave, like going on a crop or something, and you're like, oh, I really need to take my inks with me. Well, now I can and not have to worry, because it's not so cumbersome with littles. You know, I mean, this is easier for me to throw into my bag, my little tray like this, versus a stack of inks. All right, so now we need this piece. Okay, we know we're going to use that with Deepest Sympathy on the front. So let's get that ready. Now the question is, do we put it at the top? Because then I have, like, that could go off the edge, and then we'd have our dove at the bottom. Or do I want this and put the sentiment more at the bottom and then have all of that? Decisions. All right, so in the comments, type top if you would like to see the sentiment at the top, or type bottom if you think the sentiment should go at the bottom of the card. Let's see. What are we thinking, ladies? Put the sentiment at the top or the sentiment at the bottom? What a dilemma. Because it really could go either place. Because I was thinking if we do it at the bottom, I'd still put the sprig to the right and then the dove. Bottom. Okay, we have one bottom. Okay. Anybody else? All right, we're going to ink this up. Okay, I'm going with Patty. Bottom. All right, I just need to bring it down just a hair so I can see what I'm doing right there. Perfect. Oh, lovely. All right, next, I'm thinking the sprig kind of like right there. And then we would pop up the dove right here. Oh, that's so pretty. That's so pretty. All right, let's grab some tweezers. All right, so it's the top two that will not need any adhesive. Yeah, I had an IEP last week, and I was like, you know what? I just have a feeling we're not going to have school on Friday. And of course, it was scheduled for Friday. And so my partner, I'm like, do you think you could call the mom so we could maybe do the IEP over the phone? Like now on Thursday? And she went, oh, that's a good idea. So her and I both, she helped me do mine because I needed translation. And then she did hers right after we did mine. So that way we were not out of compliance with dates. Thank goodness. My principal's like, we're going to be at school tomorrow. Why are you doing that? I'm like, I just have a feeling that we're not going to be at school tomorrow. And I was right. Okay, so we're going to put our dove. I think I'm going to center him. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. This is such a pretty, I have used this dove more in the last month than I did the whole time I've had it. Right now I pulled in some ribbon. I was thinking, what if we added like a little bit of ribbon coming out from the back side? So I was thinking something like, I don't like how it makes, you know, it looks like a ribbon. That's not what my intentions are. No, that's a no. And then I think I'm going to put it here, but it definitely needs to go on with foam. All right, what if, all right, I'm just going to fold it. No. I haven't gotten the hang of ribbon like behind unless I tied it. So, don't know. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Let's put this on. Well, now I'm thinking I probably should put it more on the right-hand side because the dove then, he has a little bit more room to fly, so to speak. All right, let's center that there. See, had I not put my sentiment here, had I gone higher, I could have probably tied some ribbon here. It's okay. It's okay. And I don't think it'll, see, it detracts. Never mind. Let's just set that aside. Let's put in some of these beautiful hues of blue. And I'm leaning towards this Misty Moonlight just so that they're not so in your face. And like I've said 100 million times, Stampin' Up! Embellishments are like the bomb diggity. I just love them. They're so pretty. All right, I'm going to put one on my sprig. And then I'm going to put a little one coming over to that side. And let's do a little one up here. And I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to add anything else. Let's kind of keep it a little bit on the simpler side. All right. And that is our card for tonight. It is a hinge fold. And then we open it and there, so it's sort of free floating, kind of. And then this would be the back side of our card. Isn't that pretty? Just that slight variation really elevates the card. Now, next Sunday Fun Day, we will be doing a single scrapbook page. And the entire month of February will be love. The whole month will be love. So it will be a lot of reds, a lot of pinks, and black. So I'm going to tie in black as most of our bases for our cards. So the first Sunday will be a layout. The second Sunday will be a very simple card. Our third Sunday will be a triple Z fold card. Be ready for that one. That's got a lot of pieces. And then our fourth Sunday for February, we are going to make a box card situation. So just be ready for that. So thank you for joining me this evening, and I will see you next Sunday for Sunday Fun Day. Good night.